Welcome back to the Monona Terrace Convention Center. We got GM3 here. We got Chris Garrity. My name is Rich Reynolds. We thank you for being along as our fourth fight of the evening. We see Gary Konkol coming to the cage right now and making his way towards the ring here and the cage, actually, more than a ring. And I tell you what, so far we've seen some good action in our first three fights. We'll see if Konkol and Gladem can keep that action up as they're going to be fighting at 145 pounds. Nice job, by the way. I know Eric Rogers getting the interviews here tonight. Definitely want to mention him, as I mentioned everybody else here that is cage size. Konkol fighting out of Stevens Point. Let's take a look now at Ben Gladem. All right, here comes Ben Gladem right now as he is fighting out of Janesville. This is our fourth fight of the evening. We are heading to our main event between Compton and Gilpin, as Alex Gilpin is going to be defending his title at 145 pounds. So we're going to see what these Ammies look like at 145 right now as Gladem finally comes out now representing Fearless MMA. For the last time before the fight, we take a look at the Carbon World Health Tale of the Tape. All right, let's go up to Chris Garrity for the introduction.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, our fourth bout of the evening is an amateur featherweight contest, also scheduled for 3 rounds. Introducing first this man, fighting out of the Coliseum Bar, red corner. He stands in at 5'8" tall. He weighed in at 143.4 pounds. In 12 bouts, he has 5 victories. 3 of those victories come by way of knockout. Hailing from Stevens Point, Wisconsin, Gary Wild Boy Konkol. His opponent, this man, fighting out of the Harley-Davidson of Madison, blue corner. Undefeated in his short career, 1 bout, 1 victory, 1 submission. He stands in at 5'9" tall. He weighed in 146.8 pounds, representing Fearless Mixed Martial Arts from Janesville, Wisconsin, Ben Gladem.
All right, Gladem and Konkol just about ready to go. And boy, one thing you notice right away as we were fighting in the featherweight division, both guys come in really good shape for this one. It looks like they've taken their training seriously and hopefully will give us a good fight now. Konkol and Gladem, here we go. Our fourth fight of the night and a good kick to start it there. Both guys in black shorts, but that is Gladem with the left kick and trying to push Konkol up against the wall and doing so early on here in round number 1. What do we know about these fighters?
Well, before we get to that, I want to look at the jumping guillotine he just went in. Tell us a little bit about that move, Gerald. I mean, how do you even size something like that up? The athleticism it takes to jump on somebody's hips and set that in.
I mean, he got a good bite on the chin. He must have felt he found the spot with the throat. Right now he's cranking it, trying to get his forearm right on his windpipe. Now you see here, let it go. He's going to have to work off his back for a submission or put his feet in the hips, kick away to get back to his feet.
Now, Rich, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't Konkol the guy last time, got beat up in the first round, came back and won his fight?
One of my favorite fights of the night.
It was a great fight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
And it was almost like right before the bell, the last bell of the third round.
And I had given him a little guff, I remember, because he's an independent fighter, didn't have a gym. Now, he had put down, he's with Team Flow, who I actually have never heard of before, so he might technically still be independent. But you got the guy's game. He's tough. He just got out of a tight guillotine. He's in top control. Well, for a little bit while longer, could get back control here.
Yeah, we saw Konkol last time, and really, and again, you can go back and watch all of these fights on our YouTube channel on Wisconsin's 57 and take a look at that one. That was a great fight, and it looks like we got good action and even matchup here in Konkol's second appearance here on Wisconsin's 57, as on his back now is Gladem. What do we know about Ben Gladem and Fearless MMA?
Well, he's 1-0. He's a submission artist, but as you saw there with those 2 kicks he threw, especially that center kick, the first one he threw, the left, He can really strike also. Now, I haven't seen anything too crisp from his hands, but I like the kick so far.
Good left there by Gladem, connecting and scoring there against Konkol. Konkol up on his feet, now trying to trade shots here, try to grab the leg, lost that, has his mouth open early on. When you see a fighter with his mouth open, is he sucking for wind there? Is he trying to get oxygen already?
Sometimes he can be sucking for wind. I think that's just the way he fights. Oh, and here he caught him with a right hand. He's looking to go in for the kill. Can't quite get it.
And couldn't get him as quickly back on his feet was Gladem, but now Gladem taking the brunt of some punishment here from Konkol. Konkol with a little bit more experience over Gladem. Gladem in just his second amateur fight, and that can make a big difference, as we have seen here in the past. Sometimes experience really plays well for fighters in the cage.
And even though his record isn't on the positive side yet, Konkol has a lot of fights. He's been in the cage 11 more times than Gladem has, and that can have a lot to do with control and what happens in the second and third round, because you've been there before when your opponent hasn't.
Maybe a tough round to score in round number one. Let's see what happens. Round number two next on Wisconsin's 57 Sports. All right, action here from round number one as Konkol and Gladem squaring off. And there was that attempt at that guillotine that almost ended the fight quickly.
Yeah, and he did a good job. Like Gerald said, he thought he had it hooked well under the chin, and it looked that way. I did like Gladem's center kick there, and that's what we had when I was bringing up before. If you remember, Konkol in the first fight we saw him last time, he had taken that liver kick and crumpled to the ground, and then he recovered it and ended up winning that fight. So obviously, Gladem had watched that fight too and saw that that was going to be open, and he almost landed another liver kick to drop Konkol.
Yeah, we see what that can do and how it almost disables a fighter for a time when they're in the cage, when they get a shot to the liver, and that was definitely on display in Chosen Few Fighting Championships number 10. All right, round number two. Here scheduled for 3, as it looks like a capacity crowd here at Monona Terrace, as we are in our fourth fight of 13 here tonight. Some good action so far tonight, and good action here in this one as well.
Konkol playing a little Diaz brothers in the cage there, trying to goad his opponent to just strike and throw as many wild punches as possible.
Sometimes that actually works. I've seen it work, and sometimes I've seen it work against a guy as well. Good combination by Konkol, using his hands and feet to drive Gladem back, but Gladem now once again,
that's tight, Rich,
able to get a hold on.
He's got a pretty deep, oh, the head's almost out for Konkol, and there it is.
What a job from Gary Konkol. That was huge. That was tight. That looked like it was right under the chin.
One thing that we have to learn as we see Konkol fight is not to underestimate his fortitude. This guy's game.
And I liked, that's what's crazy to me about the fact that he was an independent fighter. The combinations he was putting together on his feet with kicks and punches, and then also his submission defense game. I mean, it's pretty good.
Yeah, we've seen that already a couple times here tonight, and the absolute toughness of Gary Konkol is now on top. A look at the leg now coming over of Gladem.
Here's another armbar trying to set in. Gerald, what do you have to do? Oh, that's not it right there, Gerald. Is he going to get out of this?
Oh, I don't think it doesn't look like he's about to get out. He's really got to stack him up, put more weight on those legs. Oh, now it looks like he's got his elbow out of the crotch, and he's out.
Wow. That is just excellent, excellent work from Konkol.
You know, sometimes these independent fighters, less instruction can be better. Some guys just naturally kind of know how to fight, and they pick little things up. He seems to be comfortable in there doing what he's doing. So, you know, if it's working for you right now, stick with it.
It's kind of interesting that you would say that less instruction can be better for a guy, and it's just natural instinct sometimes, even in the cage, that can take over and win fights.
Yeah, some guys just know how to fight. Some people need a little more instruction. I know personally myself, I need a bigger knowledge base, but if you naturally know how to move your body, even the way he was defending some of those kicks, grabbing them, tripping up his opponent is usually kind of a higher level thing to do, but if you do it naturally, you know, maybe just a little less instruction, work on the basics and let the guy go fight.
Konkol right now on top and dishing out the punishment here in round number 2 after he was able to get out of some submission.
Gladem's in a lot of trouble, Rich.
Yeah, and he's
And
tapping
he
out,
taps
and that is it. And again, the punishment coming from Konkol. Here's a guy that looks like he could have been out of this fight 2 or 3 times here tonight, comes back and wins. An exciting fighter, at least at the Monona Terrace Convention Center. He has shown that he can fight.
And I want to see him back here every time
Yeah.
now. I mean, I underestimated this guy basically twice now, and he's proven us all wrong. I mean, independent flow, I don't care what you call it. He's a fantastic fighter. I don't care that his record is more in the loss column. Whatever he's doing right now is working for him, and I can't wait to see him back in the cage again.
6th win of his career for Konkol. Gladem is still down. Great job tonight from Gary Konkol in our 4th fight. We will get the official word from Chris Garrity right after this. Don't go anywhere. It's Mora and Gonzalez coming up next here on Wisconsin's 57 Sports. Once again, Gary Konkol showing what he can do here in the chosen few cage, which seems to have brought the best out of this fighter. We saw him win in dramatic fashion here in January, and once again, Gerald, he was able to get out of a couple of submission holds, comes back and wins the fight on a TKO.
Yeah, a couple real tight submissions. You know, at the end he got the back there, landed some strikes, and came away with the win.
And sometimes, too, when you're in that submission posture or can possibly be submitted, it helps not to panic, doesn't it?
Definitely, and that's one of those things. You know, he's a guy that looks like he naturally knows how to fight, or maybe the experience in his previous fights has helped him. He wasn't afraid to get in there and throw or to be in a submission.
All right, let's hear what Chris has to say.
51 seconds of round number 2 for your winner. By tap out due to strikes, Gary Wild Boy Konkol.
Great job by Konkol winning our 4th fight of the night. Don't go anywhere. Looks like a good one coming up next. Again, in the featherweight division, we're going to see Marcos Gonzalez representing the Chosen Few. That's next. You're watching the Chosen Few Fighting Championships number 11 on Wisconsin's 57 Sports.